So here we are in the garage. Over the past few years, buying mattresses, replacing mattresses, all of that stuff, we kind of ended up with a mismatch. We've got a box and a mattress and another box and another mattress and just a mattress. And now with the holidays coming up and with Allie having moved out, we've got to figure out what are we going to do when people come back and visit. And so I am going to build a relatively inexpensive bed platform for the lone mattress that we have. So today went and got some plywood and some 2x4s. And like everybody probably knows and you've heard, these things are expensive. The plywood was like $41 a sheet. The 2x4s, which several months ago were like $3.70, are now $7, $7 and change for top choice. I wanted straight ones, and I got 5 really straight ones. So it added up in a hurry. Anyhow, we're gonna make this bed. I've have to go salvage some bed headboard, some wood for the headboard. I think I'm gonna use pallet boards and kind of put it all together and just see how it turns out. Maybe be a little inspired by it. Maybe, don't know. We'll have to figure it out, but at least I want to be able to get the mattress up off the floor and onto some kind of frame. Anyhow, here we go. So my frame is going to be 5 2x4s, 52 inches long and 73 inches long. A lot of people don't like my radial arm saw. In fact, I think the federal government doesn't like my radial arm saw. This is one of the models that was the part of that lawsuit against Sears or Emerson Equipment, whichever one. But it's a well-built machine. My dad had one just exactly like it, so I kind of learned how to use it. I do tend to get a little comfortable around it, but I really enjoy this machine. I've spent a lot of time aligning it, getting it tuned up so it makes nice straight cuts for me. So don't hate on me in the comments. Just got to be careful. Yep, cut's good. The off-fall from the pieces I don't need from the frame are going to become the legs. Maybe I'll show a picture. Maybe I'll put it right here of what it is I'm going to build or what my design is on this build. Maybe. We'll see. If nothing shows up there, then I decided not to show you. It'll be a surprise. Set up stop block so that I can cut the legs. I need 8 11¼ inch 2x4s so I can make a corner with them, and then the 11¼ inch leg and the 3/4 inch platform will make the bottom of the mattress sit on a 12-inch high at 12 inches high, and we think that would be pretty good for what we're trying to accomplish. So I'm gonna cut those up. 11 1/4. So that's the legs. That's the frame. I gotta do some sanding now. I'm gonna paint this, and this is just stud lumber. So I gotta sand it up pretty good, get the rough marks out of it and things like that. And that's not real exciting to watch. Maybe I'll show a little bit of it and then cut it out or speed it up. But I usually sand outside, but it's a little cold. It's Halloween night, so there's probably people out there. My next door neighbors got a display up and I hear they're doing things. So I set up this fan. I used this when the smoke was pretty bad. You can tell how it cleared the smoke. I'll see if I can suck my sawdust through, or my sanding dust through there. Got my little heater running down there. That's the noise you're hearing. But we'll see how this goes. So here I'm in the garage again. I laid out a hunk of carpet so I can set the bed frame down and put it together. And then I'll fit the legs to it. I gotta drill some holes, put some bolts through it. And then once I get the frame at least assembled, I will lay down the plywood that'll be the surface that the mattress sits on. Cut that out and clean that up and round the corners and do that kind of stuff. So at least I want to get this together. All right. Something you guys didn't see after the sanding, Joan painted it, and I also built the legs. The legs are just some 2x4s stuck together and then painted up. We'll be putting those on. Let's bring you down here so you can see what's going on. I got these fancy screws. I don't know if they're good or not. They got a fancy tip on them. I figure since they're fancy, they gotta be good, right? Isn't that how it works? Fancy is better. I didn't really like that. Didn't stay lined up. Yeah, it's better. This board is a little twisted. I'm screwing the bottom part, trying to pull that twist out. I guess I'm helping that. Part of the joys of working with 2x4s. It's actually stud material. Not exactly for precision woodworking. Holds a house together pretty well. Doesn't necessarily make fine furniture. All right, let's go to the other end. I drew this design up in SketchUp. I don't know if you ever used SketchUp before or not, but it sure is handy for drawing things up, seeing how they come together. You can find a lot of the issues that you might have before actually encountering them, which is pretty nice. I've been using SketchUp for a long time to do these kinds of fairly simple drawings, although I have done some complicated stuff. I modeled out the house and for doing the siding, and that worked very well. The guy that delivered the siding didn't think we had near enough, because he usually delivers to contractors and they estimate differently. I drew everything out exactly and only missed it by 2 boards, which I think is pretty good to only miss it by 2 boards. My center board is long. That's kind of disturbing. May have to do something about that. But it's nice and straight there. Let's put you over here. How about there? Can you see there? Those started. Get that pulled in like that. I'll have to measure that out and see if it's that's probably pretty loud. See what I can do about cleaning that up in post-production for you. Fancy term, right? Yeah, it's a little long in the middle. Ha! $74 and a half. 34 and a half. Under 74 and a half, so there's the problem. But that will be okay. I will screw this together. I think a 1/16 of an inch off is probably okay. So there's the bed frame. I gotta put the feet holes in it and drill some bolts or some holes for the bolts that hold it all together. So that's next. Okay, I had to do some figuring because this board's not exactly straight up and down. So I think it's still gonna work. I just had to do some thinking. So got me a long drill because I gotta get into the middle of this short little board, but I wanna be as close to the middle as I can and go through the center of that board. I want this to be as strong as possible. So I don't know if I'm gonna drill through my I don't think I'm going to drill through my clamp. We'll see. Ha! Missed it. Missed it by that much. So, that one will go through that way. I got my bolts. Does anybody else, when you go to the store, put these things together in little assemblages so you know you got the right ones? So this will go. It doesn't want to go. Might need a little persuasion. Fortunately, I have a drawer full of persuaders. Probably should use a 5/16 inch drill bit for these 1/4 inch bolts. Doesn't like, gets the thread full of gunk when I pound it through the wood like that. Are these 7/16? They are. So the other end of these is just a carriage bolt. There we go. So then it makes for a nice clean surface there. Now, I need to do the same thing on this side. Need to be 1 3/4 inches up and, you know, about in the middle. 1 3/4 inches puts me in the middle of this board, and this spot puts me in the middle of this board. I think I'll use a 5/16 inch. 5/16 inch DeWalt Brad point. These are nice. Battery in my drill is getting a little low, but it should be able to go through it. I got another one charging right now. So I'll go right there. Guess drilling through 3 inches of wood takes some I don't like it when it tears out that way. My next bolt. This one should go through a little easier, being that it's 5/16. You see how much nicer that is? Oh, that's interesting. Nice and strong. I'll do that 4 more times. I don't think you guys want to watch it. That, and I want to play some music while I do it and maybe run the heater. The heater's a little noisy, and the music, well, I want to monetize all these things, but if they hear somebody else's music in the background, then I get in trouble. I already had that happen once. They told me, I can't monetize this because it's got somebody else's music. I got 45 followers, dude. I'm not monetized anyhow. So, anyhow, I'll be back when I have all 4 of the legs attached. So, I've done a lot of off-camera work. Cut these things down to size, and I put primer on them. These are the 2 bottoms for the bed. Realized I probably should have cut them to the same size as the half of the bed, but I didn't. I was trying to conserve plywood, so that was a mistake. We'll see if I live to regret that on this project. Did a lot of sanding, did some filling of the voids from it. That's pretty much it. Boring stuff. Next we'll probably flip them over. Well, maybe we'll paint them first and then flip them over. One of the 2. We'll see. So, I put some gray paint on it. The frame and it's all gonna be kind of this gray. I think they call it something like shark something. But put the primer down. Now I put a thick coat of paint down. We'll see how it works out. There's that part, and then there's the other edge. I ran I think 320 sandpaper over the primer to try to knock it down a little bit, smooth it out. It went down okay. It didn't have to be pretty. It's exactly the same size as a mattress, so it's really not gonna show. So yeah, I'm making excuses. Plywood's expensive. The good stuff is really expensive, and I'm cheap, really cheap. So that's what I'm doing. So either I forgot to take pictures or video of the frame with the platform on it, or I lost it. I'm not sure what. So, just looking at this picture, envision what it would look like if it had a solid top of plywood on it that was painted the same color.